of me.
Last June, Angie Araby of Louisiana lost her oldest child, Bradley. At the age of 31, he was stabbed to death at Seattle's City Hall Park. Angie said he was trying to get a fresh start in Seattle.
Well, we all are going to have emotional trauma probably forever.
That day in the park, police arrested suspect Michael Cedejo. 2 months earlier, he was arrested in the same park for allegedly assaulting a different victim, this 65-year-old man. You can see the bruises on his face and legs. After the assault in April, prosecutors asked a judge to keep Cedejo behind bars with $20,000 bail. They argued he should stay in jail because the state is concerned about the safety of the community if the defendant is released.
The prosecutor's office told the judges he was a danger. That word should have meant something to somebody, and it didn't. And I don't have a baby. I don't have my son.
Cedejo was on the street in June, the day of Araby's stabbing, after the judge reduced his bail to $5,000, and the nonprofit, the Northwest Community Bail Fund, paid the bill.
I miss my boy, and shame on them. Shame on them.
The Northwest Community Bail Fund is one of about 100 groups across the country that collect donations, then use the money to bail people out of jail while they're waiting for trial. The local fund chose to not go on camera, but they tell me it's our state's cash bail system that's shameful and inequitable. If you're poor and can't afford bail, you stay locked up. But if you have means, you're out the door.
People are shocked. They didn't even know that such a fund existed.
Tiffany Attrell is a victim advocate for the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. She says she and her colleagues assumed the fund bailed people out of jail when the alleged crime was nonviolent. Up until a few weeks ago, the group's Facebook page read they post bail for people charged with low-level crimes. But that's not the case. Fund leaders say everyone has the right to get out of jail. Regardless of the crime, you're innocent until proven guilty. They also said the Facebook language was outdated.
That's what's concerning. They're not looking at the seriousness of the violent crime.
The fund bails people out of jails in King, Pierce, and Snohomish counties. Last year, they posted bail for 278 people in King County Superior Court cases. The King 5 investigators have found about half the charges involved nonviolent crimes, such as theft of a motor vehicle, criminal trespass, and unlawful possession of a firearm. But others faced much more serious charges, including rape of a child in the first degree, armed robbery, and domestic violence assault.
There's flaws with the bail system as it is. At the same time, we can't have violent people out of jail.
In a 2019 domestic violence case, a Seattle man was charged with assaulting his girlfriend. Police say he was punishing her for going to work and leaving behind their crying infant. The Community Bail Fund paid $2,000 to get him out of jail. 3 weeks later, he was charged with a new crime, allegedly returning to his girlfriend's house and killing the baby.
Sometimes jail is the best place for the community to stay safe.
We have a system that's innocent until proven guilty. And the fact that we keep, millions of people a year pre-trial who have not been convicted is hugely problematic.
Dr. Jackie Helfgott is the director of Seattle University's Crime and Justice Research Center. She is not affiliated with the Northwest Bail Fund. She says the current bail system perpetuates racism. Because research shows people of color are more likely to be arrested, they're more likely to sit in jail, unable to post bail.
We have a system that is infused with systemic racism across the whole span of the system. The only people that should be detained pre-trial are people who present a serious public safety risk. Other than that, everyone else should be released, whether they have money or not.
And you're basing that on
the fact that people are innocent until proven guilty, and the fact that jail is a horrible place. I mean, it's worse than prison.
The bail fund's director says our cash bail system is harmful in many ways. They say it's a primary driver of mass incarceration. It intensifies racial and economic inequalities, and it puts people who need support the most at risk of losing their job, housing, and children.
There's no opportunity to succeed in a jail setting, so it just compounds the problems and keeps people in the system.
He left 2 kids behind. He loved his children. Very smart, intelligent young man that's gone.
Angie Araby says before posting bails, the Community Bail Fund should consider victims and what they have to say, or at least think hard about defendants charged with violent crimes.
And no one considered that. No one, from the judge all the way down, no one considered that. And it's horrible.
The Community Bail Fund says it's important to remember that judges set bail amounts so everyone they bail out is legally eligible to go free. And they believe when they bail someone out, it's just like someone who hires a bail bond service to do the same thing. So they're asking, why should they be held to a different standard? But I can tell you that several of the victims that we talked to, we had DV victims calling us about the bail fund, very, very worried about it, and they would beg to differ.
Have you noticed that as everything around you seems to decline, one thing still grows? It is the power of your rulers. None of their plans and directives have solved your problems or made your life better. The only result has been their increased control over you at the cost of your freedom. Do you know why? You gave them the power.